What is Isaiah's future?
What is the future for a 5'9" injured guy that's shooting 35% from the floor and 27% from the three-point line? See, Isaiah still wants to live in that season that he had, that anomaly season, where he averaged basically 30 points a game. Well, there's a big market for a guy averaging 30, but there's not a big market for a guy that's 5'9", averaging 15, shooting those numbers. Lou Williams got 3 years, $24 million. Lou Williams could have easily been an all-star. I don't know what Isaiah's thinking. He has to get out of his head. He's not that guy right now, and he might not ever be that guy again. That was in Boston. They're not going to pay you on what you did 2 years ago, Isaiah. You have to show them something now. You're injured. You're doing more damage to your brand, to you getting this contract than you previously thought. Because not only is your play bad, you're becoming toxic in the locker room. So that is a problem. See, there's a big market for a guy averaging 30. A lot of teams could use a guy like that. But at 5'9", see, teams will overlook a defensive liability. Enes Kanter can't play a lick of defense, but he's going to give you 18 and 12. So you're going to accept that. Isaiah, you got to change your attitude, bro. Or you be playing for the mid-level.
And let's understand why Isaiah even averaged 30. Now, he was a good player off the bench. He was a spark plug. He'd come in and give you 20 points a game off the bench. You can use that. But he only averaged 30 and was in the MVP race because of Brad Stevens' system, which offensively was completely built around him. You had no other star players that needed the ball. And defensively, they had the players and the system to protect him.
Correct.
He was never that real, consistent 29-point scorer. I don't even think he's a perennial all-star type player.
No.
Okay? So that said, the Lakers have no need for him whatsoever. What people are missing is that this was a power move by Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson. What they do last summer, they gave Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, a Rich Paul client, $18 million for 1 year. Way overpaid. This year, Isaiah's a problem in Cleveland. You want him out? We'll take him. We'll take him. You know, political moves. I'm not saying it's going to end up in LeBron. We'll see. But just making it a real nice relationship and doing favors for Rich Paul and the LeBron James team. So that's something we have to watch for, too. He will not be in L.A. next year, especially if they want to get LeBron. You know, he will not be there. They don't need him now. And I'm with you. I was talking to an executive on the way in this morning, and he was saying he's thinking mid-level, which is about $8.5 million. And I do feel bad for Isaiah because he's never had that payday. He's 29 years old. You look at the guy, this is his last chance to get that payday, and you look at some of the guys, Allen Crabbe, Evan Turner, Chandler Parsons, some of the guys who haven't done half as much as he's done in the league. Yeah, Batum. You could go on and on. I could probably name 25 to 30 guys who haven't done half as much as him who got huge deals, and he's not going to get it. Not only because of his injury, because of his recent play, but the market has dried up. Teams are going to have to make up for the money they spent these past 2 years. And they're going to do it by not giving out these huge deals. So I feel for him because he's not going to get that payday that he deserves.
So I've never seen anything quite like this because all of a sudden Isaiah Thomas is playing for his NBA life in the next 29 games for the Lakers because I've seen next to nothing from him in the few games he played in Cleveland because he's not healthy. And it looked like he gained a couple of extra pounds that he can't stand to try to carry. And he lost lateral and vertical quickness. And you just can't at 5'9". Now you've lost your strengths, your attributes. And if I don't see any more from him for the next 29 games, and I do think he'll get to play quite a bit because I don't know if Lonzo's shut down for the year or not. We'll see about that. But it's the perfect spot for him to audition for what's left of his career. But there's a chance, if he continues to look like he looked in Cleveland, there's a chance that the market's going to dry completely up for him at age 29. Because you look back at the one Boston year in which he finished 5th in the MVP race, you look at he's behind Russell and James Harden, Kawhi and LeBron. I mean, then he's 5th.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's a shell, right?
Yes.
Did you see any of that from him?
No.
But he fell into ball-dominant green light heaven under Brad Stevens with no other scoring option because it's Avery Bradley or Jay Crowder. That's your 2 and 3 options.
Yes.
Well, they're offensively challenged, both of them.
Al Horford,
Yeah.
Marcus Smart.
Okay.
But now you have a real appreciation for what Kyrie was able to do. Kyrie averaged 25, and it never looked like it was chaotic. It never looked like LeBron had to pull the ball from him. It never looked like Kyrie had to pull the ball from LeBron because LeBron would have had no
I
problem.
agree with that. They had great chemistry.
Yeah.
Great chemistry.
LeBron had no problem, Skip. He would pass the ball to Kyrie and go stand in the corner.
Yeah.
Do what you do.
Yeah, and vice versa. They took
Exactly.
turns. Yeah.
But Isaiah was in a situation, as you mentioned, when he's the guy. They're going to do everything. They're going to set picks, multiple picks, double picks. You shoot as much as you want. These guys are going to try to get the rebound. And then you go, after you're injured to Cleveland, with the same mentality that you had in Boston, and you go and standing beside a Mount Rushmore, even if you don't think he's a Mount Rushmore player, he's a top 5 player. Even if he's not the top 4, he's a top 5 player right now. And you go there talking about, well, I'm going to average 30. LeBron's not even averaging 30. What? And he's shooting 55, 56% from the field. So how many shots do you have to get when you shoot the way you shoot from the field to average 30? Wow. And now, Skip, okay, he's injured. He's 5'9". He's shooting terrible from the field. And what is the problem? Locker room.
Yeah.
Who wants that?
Well, you were right, Skip. This is an audition. But here's the thing. Isaiah has to understand what is the audition. What will impress teams? Going out there and playing with the mentality that you had in Boston is not going to impress teams. It didn't impress Danny Ainge. No. You averaged 29, led him to the number 1 seed, and he traded you.
And by the way, didn't you have a little nugget that you reported about some players in that
locker room? Yeah.
Didn't you take some heat for reporting that?
Yep,
right?
but people have, in talking to people, they've doubled down on it. That a scout texted me yesterday, Isaiah's rep around the league is not great. Now, people like him as a person.
Sure.
But look, in 5'9", you kind of have to have that chip on your shoulder. Nate Robinson had it. Yeah. But it can rub guys the wrong way. What Isaiah needs to do is, to me, go to L.A. If you have to come off the bench, come off the bench, zip your lip, just play really good ball, show that you can be a team guy, get him 14, 15 points a night off the bench on pretty efficient shooting, and then maybe a good team will say, you know what? We could bring him in that role.
But he doesn't see himself as that.
He can't think that he's that 30-point scorer.
The worst thing that could have ever happened is that he finished 5th in the MVP voting, because now he sees himself as those guys equal. After they've been doing it for years, multiple years, 5, 7, 8 years. LeBron's been doing it for 12, 13 years. He sees himself after one season on that level. So he can't see himself as anything other than an MVP guy on Russ and Steph and LeBron and KD's level. And Skip, take it from a guy. I was an all-pro, won Super Bowls. I didn't go to Baltimore, Skip, saying, this is what we're going to do. We had a bad game. We want to score. Man, no. You ask me a question. Brian asked me something. I tell him what I thought. But I wasn't I wasn't the team spokesman.
No.
Dude, how you come you played 1 month. You were there 6 months.
He was saying it after like 1 or 2 games.
Yeah.
Exactly. He was talking while he was injured. Talk about what he going to be when he get back.
So, the bottom line of this could be a very sad bottom line. When you talk about injured hips, if we go back to the great Bo Jackson, once it goes, it's sometimes hard to ever get it right. And he tore the labrum in his hip, and sometimes it just won't ever quite recover. And when you're 5'9" and you lose a little bit of explosion, man.
You can't be short and slow.
No.
You can be one or the other. You pick one. But you can't be both of those combined. A 7-foot guy with that slow skip, that's fine. We good. We'll wait for you to get, because remember when Kareem was 42, Kareem was last one coming up the court. But Magic waited on him, hold the ball. Come on, Kareem. We got you. Get on down to the block. Hey, get down to the block, he throw the sky hook. But when you're 5'9", you can't lose anything. Skip, if you throw 85 miles an hour, how you lose something off your fastball and say I'm still a big league pitcher?
No. Unless you can trick them, and you can't trick them at 5'9".
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Greg Maddux could do it, but then when he went into the 70s, Greg Maddux like, I got to go.
Yep.
It's really unfortunate coming off of Isaiah in Boston because he was
He
really
was a
had
darling.
he was a darling. Most of it was based off of the talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
you know,
I don't
He would
think
be
there's,
still, I think, a sympathetic figure if he hadn't done
He
that.
never got over that, Skip. He still never got over being traded. He still talked about Boston and how they did him wrong in the Doctor series. He never got over that. How could, I don't get why they trade, you don't get why they traded Kyrie for you. You don't?
He doesn't see himself that way.
well, there's not going to be any Isaiah Day this Sunday in Boston.
That's what, he done missed it.
They're done.
He-
Chris, thanks for
Anybody
joining
happier than
us.
Paul?
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.